So yeah, we just would like to thank you so much, like for answering us and to agreeing to do this for us. Like it means like a lot for us that we have been like with you like since the beginning, and it's so happy for us that you agreed to do this, and like we're so
Of
happy that
course.
you're here with us today. And like so, we just would like to know a little bit about you, about your career. How did you start your career? What inspired you to become an actress? Like when you become it.
Um, well, I think a couple of things probably. One is my grandfather was an actor, and so I think that just runs in my blood or in my family, the artistic gene, the performer gene. And then I was a dancer for many, many years before I became an actress. And as a dancer, you have to perform and you have to act in some ways, but of course, it's under the technique of ballet. And I started to feel a little restricted as a classical ballerina, so I started to take acting classes, and I fell in love with it, and I decided to leave ballet as my number one priority, and I went to school to a conservatory here in the United States. That's where I met my husband and where I trained for theater, and it just all started from there.
Oh, nice. And how long have you been there in the United States?
Off and on, I have been in the United States since I'm 18 years old, so almost 20 years.
Wow.
Yes,
Well, it's
guys,
been a
I'm
while.
almost 40.
And so, how was it for you to be the first Latino superhero of the MCU in the TV?
Well, you know, I didn't, as I've told this story before, when I auditioned for YoYo, they didn't tell me I was auditioning for someone that would have superpowers, a superhero. I just thought I thought the character was a girl from Colombia, and that was living in the streets. It was very different from what the story is. And then I got it, and the day that I went for the table read, they told me who she was, and the next day I had to start shooting. Um, can you ask me the question again? I think I just went another route. It was
No,
how does it?
that's the
Yes,
question.
yes, yes. So
Yeah.
I didn't know. Sorry, I thought it was, yeah. So I didn't know that I would be the first Latina character. I know that there's Latina actresses that have acted in Marvel, like Zoe Saldana, and soon Adria Arjona is going to be in another Marvel movie, and but on TV, I really didn't know if there were any Latinas acting. Now, it's not about who the actor is, it's about the character, because I could be playing an American and then I wouldn't be representing you guys as Latinos, you know? So it was with time, as time went by and I started playing her and I started doing research, I realized that there has never been a character that is a superhero, female and from Latin America, or even male. There were no, I mean, there was Juan Pablo Raba, but he's not part of the comics.
Yeah.
So that was, I mean, when I realized that, it was wonderful. It doesn't really matter to be the first one. That's not, to me, it doesn't mean it really matter that I'm the first one. What matters is that there is a first one. And that means that if we open the door, so many can come through it already. So that's why that was the depth that I took it as. I'm very proud that I got to play the first Latina character, but what really makes me happy and feel pride is that we've broken through that wall, and now if there's been Joey and then YoYo and then Ghost Rider, that there can start to be more and more and more. I think I'm not sure, I think the Runaways had someone too. But yeah, but it's wonderful. It's lovely to it's humbling to carry that that sort of first place.
Yeah, I think it is also fun for us to see like the first episodes, like Elena used to speak like all basically Spanish, and then she like in the end it's always like English and no Spanish, and how she grow in the
Yeah,
series, right?
that's why did you guys see the finale already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. when she said "hasta la próxima" and took off her thing, that line wasn't there, and I told the director I want her last thing, the last thing she ever says, sort of within the group, I want it to be in Spanish, and I had to fight them for it because, as you said, she didn't really continue to speak Spanish ever again, and it was something. Yeah. It was something that I really wanted. I tried many times to tell them this is the point where she would speak in Spanish or something. But I think it's also difficult because when it's a network, they're not as open to having that. That's why it was so wonderful that at the beginning they had me not speak any English, and then she got better and better and better. But yeah, I wanted her at the end, the last episode, to have a really strong goodbye and to do it in Spanish because, I mean, I put a lot of yo-yo in women that I know from Latin America, and I can just feel in her heart, you all are part of that, you know. We know what it is to live in Latin America, and I wanted you to feel that she really has lived there, that she's not an American whose parents are from Latin America, that she's really from there, that you feel her roots.
Yeah, that's really nice. And like, what was it like to play a character that had superpowers? What were the challenge like to make the scenes and stuff, like when you were like running with your superpowers? How was it? How was the experience?
Oh, it was wonderful. When you've been a dancer and an athlete, and then you get into acting, sometimes there's not a lot of physical movement in acting, and so for me to get someone that was so physical was so wonderful because I could sort of bring back my ballet training into it. I don't know if you guys saw the thing I did with Joe Quesada on Marvel. If you go to the Marvel Instagram or even on Twitter, Joe Quesada used to be one of the, well, didn't used to be, still is one of the main, he was CEO of Marvel. He's a comic book drawer, one of the best creators. And he did an interview. The only two actors that were part of it was me and Hugh Jackman. And he asks me about how my physical fighting scenes if they had anything to do with my ballet training, and they had everything to do. It was challenging, but at the same time, it's the most fun. I mean, the last moment that you see me punching those guys, I mean, I have to do it that slow and go in, and so the guy's just like that, and I have to go, oh. So you have fun, you're having fun because I don't get to do it fast. So everything you see in the face and him going, we're doing all of that. So at the moment they yell cut, we're all crying, laughing. I have spit in my mouth because I went into his mouth. It's just a lot of fun because you get to do really what most actors never get to do. To be that physical is truly wonderful. So it's challenging, but in a good way. It's a challenging, fun situation.
Nice.
And like about this kind of scenes, and what do you think that was one of the scenes that moved you the most, like something that changed the way you acted, or I don't know, something like I used to do something like this and now I do another way because I see it's better?
Well, in terms of acting, you just get better. Like you get better. If you're a cook, you get better the more you make the dish, right? The more you get to know, oh, when the salsa gets to this thickness, it's better. Like it's the same thing as an actor. When you get to do it so much during a year, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had such a long season. The first seasons were 22 episodes. So you're there all the time. You're having to be in the moment all the time. So it's just practice. It does make you be better at holding a character, at knowing what she is, at just practicing your craft on a daily basis. But and it also, when you're in such a big show, or when you're at the level where you're doing as an actor these kinds of shows, the best thing I learned from being in something loved by so many in the world is for me, it was, you just hopefully become a better human being, because in some way you do hold a bit of a social responsibility. There's people watching you, and and you have power and you have platform. And as I always say, you guys can take it away whenever. You can go, I don't want to follow you anymore. And you lose your platform. That's, you know, what's happening all over the world. We're finding out people that we used to love and follow are not really kind people, are not really good people. You know, a bunch of actors, a bunch of celebrities are getting outed as not being good humans. So it puts you on the spot, and hopefully you work on yourself and you realize what it is to be a leader, or what kind of human you want to be when so many people are following you, you know, when so many people are taking notes from you. So that was a big lesson for me, for sure.
And like, what, talking about this and like your character and stuff, and like, what did like YoYo brought to you? Like, what do you think like YoYo changed your life in a way, or like how did you brought yourself into YoYo? How was this relationship between like Natalia and YoYo and Elena?
Well, I can't even begin. I just can't believe that. I mean, I can, because I think my grandfather, who was an actor, has always been watching me. I say that too in the interview with Joe Quesada on Marvel, if you guys want to look it up. I always feel like he's really sort of choosing my career for me, and YoYo is is definitely the most special character I've ever played. I've never played someone for 5 years, seen them grow so much, and that's also part of what the writers did. So it's a constant. I do something and the writers notice it and they write it, but then they do something else and I have to learn it. So you're sort of building this character step by step together. And she just turned out to be such a wonderful woman, just, and not because I played her, but because of who the writers made her become, and who we together built. I just wish there were more YoYos in the world. I think she's wonderful. I love her forever. She's my sister. And I think I made YoYo who I wish people thought I am. I have a lot to do to become her, but I think I made her this image of who I wish when I'm not here, people, her values, her qualities, her characteristics, they were what I consider the best of women around me and humans around me, and I made her the best, hopefully the best version of who maybe I'll never be, but who I strive to be.
That's really nice. And like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had the spin-off Slingshot, and it was focused on YoYo. And I remember there was a lot of Spanish in it, because she was fighting for justice and everything. And I think it really relates to what you were talking about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I love doing Slingshot. It was so much fun.
Yeah, and you also got nominated for the Emmys.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, and it went all the way to the Emmys, yeah.
Yeah. How was it like to be nominated for the Emmys of a series like focused on you, on your character?
That was so shocking for all of us. I mean, we started doing it as sort of a, not just publicity, but just a little side project that we were doing to sort of pull Latin America into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And a lot of people didn't want to do it because we had to do extra time, and you know, some people, I don't know. So there were a lot of obstacles to get it done, and the writers were writer assistants. The cinematographer wasn't the cinematographer; he was a camera operator. All the directors, Joe Quesada, who I do the interview with and who used to be Marvel CEO, directed. They were all first-time directors. So for everyone was first time. It was the first time I had a lead on a series. So everyone was doing their first. And for that to get an Emmy, I mean, to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. higher ups, I think it was like, what? we don't get nominated, and this little thing gets nominated. It was very shocking to us in a great way. I think to others it might have been like holy, and then it's also a great message from the universe, right? Never underestimate the underdog, never underestimate the little people, because we made it all the way to the Emmys. So, and based on a Latina and speaking Spanish, and the bad guy was Latino too. So everything just felt like the universe was teaching us all, sending us a very deep message. And it was really wonderful to go and celebrate that little show in the Emmys, for sure.
Yeah, and it was like really nice the show, because like I was rewatching it like in the beginning of this year, like because we were remembering everything like as Agents of Shield was coming to the end. So, and I was remembering how good it was. Like, so it was like interesting. It was kind of fast, but it was really interesting. It was really into the YoYo's character and her story for us to get to know a little bit more about it. So it was very, very nice. It was a really great show. And like,
thank you for watching it.
And like after a while now that I know that you guys stopped shooting already, and what do you miss the most about being the set, about shooting the series? What is it that you miss the most?
I miss the people. I miss seeing all the crew every day. I miss my friends in the show. You know, I was just looking at my Instagram archives, and I noticed that every time I was on my way to work and coming back home from work, I was singing in the car, just belting. And it's a sign of joy. What I felt is what I miss, you know? I think we forget the details of things. You don't remember maybe so much how your birthday was that year or what you did, but you remember the feeling. And that's what I will always remember, just this feeling of feeling full, of feeling joy and full of happiness. And so, yeah, I miss playing her. I miss putting YoYo's boots on. Yeah, I miss so much about it all, but I hold that feeling in my heart forever. And it's just always going to be such a special time for us all.
And talking not about specifically Agents of Shield now, but if you could go back in time, like Agents of Shield did, would you travel like to a specific moment in your life, or?
Oh, where would I go? If I could travel, I love history, so I think I would want to go everywhere. But in my own life, I think in my own life, I would probably go back to around 15 to like 21. I would travel those years because they were hard on me, and I think it was the first time where I felt what I've spoken about before, depression. So I would want to go back to talk to myself and give her some of the tools that I have now, so she could hopefully not spend so long being so sad.
And like still talking about this, about traveling in time, you said that you love history. And like in Agents of Shield, you went back to some moments in history. It should be you, like not on Agents of Shield. What moment specific in history would you choose to get back?
Oh, I would want to get back to all of them. I love it. I mean, imagine going back to when we were cavemen and watching us all like, you know, like that would be very interesting. But also like the Renaissance and being in Italy in the Renaissance, that would have been magical, you know, the art back then. I mean, any prehistoric time in Latin America, the Mayans. Imagine being a Mayan, either in, you know, in Chichen Itza or in Guatemala or in Inca. I mean, to see those things, anything. I love history, so I think I would go much more back than like saying like the 50s or 30s. I think we have enough history to know what it was back then. I would want to go back to where we have no idea and we've made up so much stuff. Oh yeah, this happened. We have no idea what happened. So I would want to go back there and sort of see it for myself.
Yeah, that would be nice. That's interesting.
What about you guys? Where would each of you go if you could go to any time in history?
I think
I
that
think,
this... Go on.
no,
Yasmin.
okay. I think I would go back to the 70s.
Yeah, you know, if I went back to something near, it would be the 60s or 70s and the hippie movement for sure.
Yeah, I love like a lot of music from the 70s, 80s, so it would be awesome like to see some bands like growing and everything.
Yeah,
It would
for
be,
sure.
yeah, amazing.
I agree.
Yeah, I think for me, if I was going back to something close, I would be going back to the 30s because I like old stuff, you know. So I think I'd be going back there. But if like a really old stuff, like you're saying, I think I would love to go back when there were castles and kings and wars,
Yeah.
like sword wars, and I would try to be a knight, you know. I think that would be nice.
The Middle Ages.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
that was like interesting.
Where did Tanya go?
I don't know.
She-
Yeah, so Tanya, she just got here. She said like her internet connection is not very good. She sent us a message
Oh.
now. So
Yeah.
I think something
Hi.
happened there. Okay. So there she is.
Sorry, my
Oh, no
English is
worries.
not the best, but I really,
Oh, it cut off, right?
really
Yeah.
want to be here. I don't know
Say
where
it
I
ag-
go, to be honest.
Say,
Maybe
say again.
or 18s, 18s. I think 18s. I think I will choose
Amazing.
after Dick, almost to 9s, to be honest.
Oh, you would go to the 80s with Deke?
Mm, Before, just after,
Before. Okay.
almost 90s.
Oh,
Almost
good.
90s.
That's old for you guys. That's when I was born. I was
It's-
born in the 80s. When people say I'm gonna go back in history to the 80s,
I'm born
like,
in
back in history.
87.
Yeah, you were born in 87. Wow, we're all 80s.
I will
No.
choose my years, my year born.
Oh wow, that's interesting. That is very interesting.
And like, what was your favorite episode from Agents of Shield? If you could choose just one, what would it be? Your
One
favorite episode.
episode. Ooh. Let's see. I think I always say I really loved going into the framework to save Mac. That scene was a challenge. It was really hardcore, so I loved that. That episode. I also love. There's a lot of episodes in season 5 when she sees Elena, future Elena,
With no arms.
with no arms. And also season 5 when she begs the team to let Coulson die so that they can all be saved. Yeah, there were a lot of episodes in season 5 that I loved.
And how, especially talking about this, how was it playing like a character with no arms? How hard was it, or how challenging was it, like to feel this or to try to show this like to the public?
Well, it's not so much the hard part was having those arms on all day, because I mean you are at work every day and it's sometimes 9-12 hours, and I had to wear very thick latex gloves on. So that was the challenge more than anything, the physical challenge of always feeling I couldn't do anything. I mean, grabbing this would have been weird. So that was more of the challenging part for Natalia. But in terms of the character, you know, I never wanted to make YoYo a victim. That's why it's very rare that you see her hurting for herself, you know? You really only see her fall down and sort of have a moment about her own emotion when Simmons comes in and she's on the ground without her arms. But I wanted her to always she never makes her losing her arms herself a protagonist because she lost her arms. You know, she's not like, whoa, me, I don't have this. So I wanted to be real about how crazy it would be for someone to lose a limb, how painful and how traumatic in the sense of saying goodbye to something you're used to, you know. But I didn't want to focus on the victimization of it. It was very important for her to for me to fastly come out of it being like, well, this is part of the sacrifice. This is what we do. So yeah, the main challenge I think was having an emotionality about it, but without falling into victimization.
Yeah, like that's real nice that you tried to do, and I'd like to say that you did it because we all felt this about like YoYo. Like in the beginning, like we all felt like sad for her, like thinking about someone that has just lost her arm and something like it. But she was able to like to move forward even though that happened, you know. So I think that was like encouraging for all of us in different situations in our lives, you know, that something sometimes happens, but we can like move forward, move on like with the things that we have, and we can still be happy and we still can accomplish the things that we want to. And that was really important from this character, this thing that you did. Thank you so much.
Oh, of course. Thank you guys. I wanted her, I mean, my growth as a person spiritually has been to realize that all this is just what we live in, but it doesn't really have that much importance, you know, because it's going to become dust someday. But it's what lives in here that needs to be strengthened, because at any point I could, you know, lose my hair, I could get sick, you can lose your eyesight, you can lose, like YoYo, your arms, you can lose your beauty, you know, you can lose all these things. This all goes away, you know. So to showcase that the strength comes from here, you know, the true human strength comes from you knowing yourself and accepting yourself and loving yourself. And because when you do that, whatever happens in the exterior, you can deal with, because your infrastructure is in here, not out there.
Yeah, I think we also saw that on this last season where she went to Afterlife with May, and she also had like, oh my God, I did something terrible to someone, and I feel this guilt in myself, and I don't want to feel this anymore, and that's why I can't have my powers back.
Yeah,
I felt that was really important.
Yeah, you know, shame and guilt is a big controller in this world, and a lot of people have used it to control humans, to control our even our love for ourselves. I mean, religion, all the isms, misogyny, sexism, racism, classism, they're all there, and their infrastructure is guilt and shame. It's making us think that if we're something that is not correct, we should be shamed. And if, you know, as far as women, the shame that we've had to be put through, any minority really, shame putrefies you. And that was another important part, to have her not feel shame in a way. I mean, it takes away your power. It really does. And for her to wake up to it with May, it was wonderful. Because I think all of a sudden, because she didn't work through killing Ruby, what she went through in her childhood, when we don't work through those things, they hunt us and they take away our beauty, our kindness, our humanity. So I also love that storyline. I thought it was beautiful to share with an audience.
So
just one last question, like, what do you think about the end of YoYo? Like, how was it for you, the end of the character? How did you like it?
I loved many things about her end. I wish both Henry and I wish YoYo and Mac would have had more scenes together at the end. They were sort of kind of left to what happened with them.
yeah, we also felt that.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Like, they never, like, yes, hi, good, you made it. But there was never like a moment between them, and it's okay because there were so many things to focus on. But we loved working together, and we love the couple that they made out of YoYo and Mac. We think it's really powerful and strong, and you know, there's a lot to be said to having a Black man and a brown Latina together and be so strong as characters in a union. So I wish that we would have had more together at the end, but I absolutely love the ending. I absolutely love that Mac is now the head of SHIELD. He's not the head of the team. He's even higher than Coulson ever was. He's like Nick Fury. He's the head of all heads. And Agent YoYo has her own team, and her team is Piper and Davis. I mean, it couldn't get better. Can you imagine how much fun those three would have? Oh my God, they would just be slapping bad guys around, just like, I just loved it. And I loved the final moment. I love when she says, hasta la próxima, and you cut to the car and you see her smiling. She's so excited that they're about to go kick some butt, and these two are fighting as they always were fighting. And then the exit out the car, I just thought it was so epic. I loved it. I really, really loved it. And the music swells, the violin swell. I was just like, wow, this is the best ending ever. I really, really loved it. It was wonderful.
Yeah, we loved that she had like a happy ending, like, you know, she, after everything that the whole team went through, like throughout the 7 seasons, like everyone had a happy ending, like especially like YoYo,
Yeah.
like having her team, her own team, and working for the things that she loves, using her powers, and that was like really nice.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you. And if you could describe like your participation in the series in one word, what would it be?
Just gratitude. I always say gratitude. That's what I try to have at the forefront whenever I'm very privileged to get to do what I love and to make a living out of it, and to play such a lovely character and to be surrounded by such wonderful human beings. I learned so much. And gratitude, what I love about being grateful is that it's not about being just grateful for the light. You're grateful for the dark too. You're grateful for the harsh lessons. You're grateful for the heartbreaks. You're grateful for the mean bully teachers, you know, because even the people that hurt you, those are your greatest teachers. They're teaching you so much about how you respond to situations. They teach you what you don't want to be. So I'm grateful for it all. I'm grateful for everything because it made me grow. It watered me. It literally made me, it challenged me as a woman and as an actress. So I'm very grateful for those 5 years. They were incredible teachers.
And what did the shield mean to you? If you could describe the meaning of it in your life, for your personal life, your career, I don't know. What is the meaning of shield for you?
The meaning of the show for me?
Yeah, the show, yeah.
I don't know. One word for the meaning of the show or what it means. I mean, a blessing. I get to do what I love, you know. I feel, again, incredibly grateful to be able to do this and to get to meet you all.
Oh, that's huge. We are grateful that we are getting to meet you today.
Well, I have to go, guys, but
Okay.
I'm so grateful you guys did this. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
For coming
Thank you so much.
to Zoom and meeting me, and mostly thank you for your time. Your time is very valuable. So know your power, you know, where you put your time, you put the most valuable thing in your life, you put your life. So the fact that you chose us and you gave us so much time is the greatest gift you can give anyone. But I want you to know how worthy your time and your attention is. So give it to what feeds you good, you know, what feeds your soul, what you deserve, what you're worthy of. And I'm just so grateful that you thought our show and all of us were worthy of your time. Thank you so much, guys, truly.
Yeah, we thank you for everything that you did, for everything that you guys meant to us throughout these years. And like we wish you all the best luck on your career, on your personal life. And we hope to see you on other things soon.
Thank you so much, guys. And if you ever see me in Brazil or Mexico or whatever we find each other, please don't hesitate and come say hello, okay?
Okay, of course.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. I send you all my love. Stay safe and healthy, okay?
You too.
Yeah, you too.
Adios, Octavio.
Bye.
Bye, Rafael. Bye, Jasmine, Tania.
Bye.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Bye bye.
Gracias.